You ever have one of those mornings where everything feels just slightly off, like the world's holding its breath and waiting for the wrong thing to happen? That was the kind of morning I had when two men in tactical polos showed up at my ranch gate, acting like they owned the dirt under my boots. It was early sun barely cresting over the hills, coffee still warm in my hand, and the fence hinge I'd been meaning to fix for weeks just sitting there, rusted but hanging on. What happened next? That hinge would become the dumbest reason anyone's ever had to throw a punch. It started with Leamy wife calm as always, even when she was standing toe-to-toe with two HOA enforcers pretending to be law. She had that voice she used when she was trying not to cuss someone out, the one where every word is clipped just short of snapping. "You're not allowed on this land without a warrant," she said, arms folded, boots planted in the gravel like tree roots. The shorter one smirked and tapped a fake-looking badge like it was real, like it meant something. "We're authorized to enforce code compliance," he said. I was still standing on the porch, halfway through my first sip, when the taller guy stepped forward, hands low, posture tense, like he wanted me to flinch first. What happened next felt like something out of a bad dream. 1 second, Leah's standing firm. The next, she's spinning midair from a punch that cracked across her face, so hard I heard it over the wind. Her body hit the ground, gravel biting into her skin, lip bleeding. And me? I froze. 20 feet away, mug still in hand, hard in my throat. Not because I didn't care, because I couldn't move. It was like my body stepped out of the moment and left me behind. Flashbacks don't ask permission. 1 second I was on the porch, the next I was 8 years old again, standing barefoot in my mother's kitchen, smelling burnt garlic and fear. Watching her brace for something she couldn't stop, hearing that low voice behind her say, "See what you made me do." That silence. It never really leaves you. Leah sat up, spit blood, and looked at me with an expression I still can't forget. Not pain, not fear. Disappointment. "You saw that?" she asked. I nodded. Couldn't speak. "Then why the hell didn't you stop it?" That cut deeper than the punch ever could. From across the road, Walter, me chaos-loving neighbor, yelled, "You guys need to update your bylaws, not punch people." Standing shirtless on his porch with binoculars in one hand and a cereal bowl tucked under the other arm, like it was a baby possum. He was a prepper, beekeeper, ham radio operator, and part-time lunatic, but in that moment, he was the only person who made sense. The two enforcers just turned and walked off. No apology, no regret, like they dropped off mail and not fists. Then came the SUV. Custom plates. HOA sticker on the windshield like a warning label. And out stepped Karen, the queen of Botox and by-the-book tyranny. She looked at Leah bleeding on the gravel, me still frozen, and offered the most robotic line I've ever heard. "I assume you'll want to file a complaint. The board's email is on the newsletter. Check your spam." Leah didn't respond, just got up, one arm cradling her ribs, and walked back to the house with the kind of quiet that echoes louder than screams. I stood there holding nothing but a coffee mug and the kind of shame that crawls under your skin and stays there. That night I sat on the porch, bourbon at my boot, knife in my lap. Not because I planned to use it, but because it was something sharp I could still control. Walt showed up around midnight, handed me a beer, and said, "Sometimes it's not the punch that breaks you. It's the one you didn't block." Then he left. 2 days later, we got a hand-delivered HOA violation notice. Not mail-hand delivered by a kid in a neon vest with HOA courier scribbled on it in Sharpie. Said we'd altered livestock containment without authorization. Same hinge. Same fence. Same rage. Leah read it in silence. Placed it on the counter like she was performing surgery. Opened the fridge. Grabbed an ice pack. Pressed it to her jaw. Didn't say a word. That silence. It was the sound of a woman rearranging everything she thought was stable. Later that week, Walt showed me drone footage, his drone, always flying. It caught the moment before the punch. And it caught the audio. Ray Dobbs, the tall guy who hit Leah, muttered, "Use the wife. He'll snap. He always does." My stomach turned. Ray Dobbs. We served together. Same unit. Same compound. Same disaster. Back then, he kicked in a door before the green light and got 2 civilians killed. I filed the report that ended his career. And now, he's working for Karen. That's when it hit me. His wasn't enforcement. It was bait. They wanted me to snap. They wanted the war veteran to look like the villain. So I stopped reacting and started planning. Tripwires, motion sensors, cameras made out of broken iPhones, and righteous paranoia. I mapped my land like it was a battlefield. Because it was. Leah watched me from the window expressionless. Not scared, just distant, like she was recalculating who I'd become. Then the traps sprang. They came back. For 37 p.m. on a Wednesday, because of course they did. Ray, a rookie, and Karen, dressed like she was about to host a luncheon with a side of fascism. They strutted up to the gate, tablet in hand, ready to serve another violation. And then it happened. Crunch. Ray stepped on the pressure plate. Click. Static screamed from every hidden speaker. Ghost noises. Emergency signals. Walt's handiwork. The rookie panicked. A net launched. Ray hit the ground screaming. The rookie slipped on fish oil and hot sauce, got blasted by a flash can. Karen dropped her tablet and looked like she'd just been dropped into a war zone. I stepped forward slow, boots crunching like punctuation. Looked Ray in the eye. You crossed the line. Karen screamed about legality. I told her, you stepped off your yard. Now you're on mine. They fled, limping, covered in mess. Karen didn't even speak, just disappeared into a dust cloud. That should have been the end. But then came the footage edited, clipped, context stripped away. Made me look like a warlord. HOA filed a lawsuit. 75 grand. Defamation. Assault. Walt and I built a counter case. Sent it to Leah's cousin, civil rights attorney with a taste for blood. We didn't post online. We filed legal. The judge didn't need more than a minute of real footage. Injunction granted. HOA stripped of enforcement power. Karen resigned. Ray vanished. Peace, technically. We took down the traps. Raised the old flag. But nothing felt the same. Leah came back eventually. Sat on the porch next to me. Do you ever miss who you were before this? I stared ahead, long and hard. Then I said, no. I think I finally became who I was supposed to be. She didn't respond. But she didn't leave either. And that was enough. This wasn't about revenge. It was about boundaries. And the next time someone crosses mine, they won't walk away. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Did I go too far? Was it justified? What would you have done if it were your family, your land, your line they crossed? Let me know down in the comments. I want to hear where you stand because these days, knowing where you stand, that's everything.